I've spent a lot of time thinking about regrets. Not just any regrets, specifically the ones that come after breakups. The kind where you wake up in the middle of the night, heart pounding, wondering if you made the biggest mistake of your life by walking away from someone who meant so much to you. Or maybe it's not even someone who meant that much to you. But still there's this ache, this pull, like something inside you refuses to let go. I'm the ex who always regretted. Always came back. Even when I thought I was done, for good. Even when I left for someone else. Even when I told myself, this is it. No more second chances. But here's the thing. No matter how many times I said those words, my heart had other plans. It kept reminding me of all the reasons why we were together in the first place. The laughter, the late-night talks, the way their eyes lit up when they saw me walking into a room. And then, inevitably, I'd find myself reaching out, hoping against hope that they'd take me back. It wasn't just one person. No. Over the years, I've been through enough breakups to fill an entire bookshelf. Some were clean breaks, where I walked away feeling confident and sure of my decision. Others, well, let's just say those are the ones that haunt me the most. The ones where I thought I'd never want to see that person again, only to realize weeks or months later that I couldn't stop thinking about them. That's when the regrets set in. Take for example the guy I dumped because he hurt me deeply. He cheated on me not once but twice. I remember sitting in my apartment staring at my phone, trying to convince myself that letting him go was the right thing to do. I told myself I deserved better, that I was strong enough to move on without him. But as the days turned into weeks, I started to doubt myself. What if I was wrong? What if he really did change? What if I missed out on something amazing? So I went back. I reached out, apologized for being too quick to judge, and gave him another chance. First, everything felt perfect. We talked late into the night, laughed over old memories, and promised each other that things would be different this time. But then, slowly but surely, the same issues resurfaced. The same arguments, the same misunderstandings, the same pain. Only this time it hurt worse because I knew better. I should have known better. Another time it was someone I got bored with. You know the type. The relationship that starts off exciting and passionate, but eventually loses its spark. One day I woke up and realized I didn't feel anything anymore. So I broke up with her. Simple, right? Well, a few months later, I found myself missing her sense of humor, her loyalty, her unwavering support. I convinced myself that maybe I was just going through a phase, that boredom wasn't a valid reason to end a relationship. So I called her. She took me back, and for a while it felt like we were back to our old selves. But the truth is, the spark was gone. And no amount of apologies or second chances could bring it back. And then there were the ones where I left for someone else. Those are the hardest to admit, even to myself. There was this guy I met during a particularly low point in my life. He was charming, attentive, and completely swept me off my feet. I fell hard, faster than I ever had before. But somewhere along the way, I realized that leaving my ex for him wasn't fair. Not to either of them. My ex deserved better than being replaced. And the new guy deserved better than someone who was still holding on to someone else. The guilt ate at me. Every time I looked at him, I saw the reflection of what I'd given up. Eventually I broke up with him too. But the damage was already done. I'd hurt two people instead of one, and now I was left with nothing but regret. I tried to make amends with my ex, but by then it was too late. They'd moved on and so had I, sort of. Because even though I'd walked away from both relationships, I couldn't shake the feeling that I'd made a terrible mistake. There were only two people I didn't regret leaving. Short-term rebounds shortly after breaking up with serious relationships. Those were the ones where I used them for comfort, for distraction, for a temporary escape from the pain. Looking back, I can see how selfish that was. I didn't care about them. I cared about myself and my own healing process. Later, I apologized to both of them, and while it didn't erase what I'd done, it helped ease some of the guilt. But here's the thing. Despite all these experiences, I still wonder if I'll ever learn. Will I ever stop chasing the idea of reconciliation? Will I ever stop hoping that my exes will regret their actions and come back to me? The answer, honestly, is probably not. Because even now, as I write this, I catch myself thinking about past relationships, about the what-ifs, the could-haves, the might-have-beens. It's exhausting, but it's also part of who I am. If you're watching this and you're a dumpy, someone who's been left behind and is wondering if your ex will ever regret their actions or come back, I want you to know that there's a significant chance they will. In my experience, people tend to reflect on their decisions, especially when it comes to love. They think about the moments they wish they could take back, the words they wish they hadn't said, the opportunities they wish they hadn't missed. Sometimes those reflections lead to regrets, and sometimes those regrets lead to attempts at reconciliation. But here's the important part. Just because they regret their actions doesn't mean you should accept them back. Trust me, I've learned this the hard way. My attempts at reconciliation worked sometimes, but only temporarily. The restarted relationships usually failed even harder than the ones we had before. Many times I realized that the other person was still incompatible with me, but the post-breakup sadness made me forget about that. Then we had the same issues that led to the breakup in the first place. On one occasion, even though my ex let me back in, they grew a huge resentment toward me. That resentment birthed passive aggression, and that caused the renewed relationship to fail eventually. It was painful, humiliating, and ultimately unnecessary. I should have known better. I should have trusted my instincts and moved on. TV shows like Friends, How I Met Your Mother, or Sex and the City tell you differently. They paint reconciliation as this beautiful, redemptive arc where everyone learns from their mistakes and lives happily ever after. But real life isn't like that. Real life is messy, complicated, and often heartbreaking. Reconciliation rarely leads to anything good, especially if the underlying issues haven't been addressed. So, if your ex comes back and you're considering giving them another chance, please ask yourself these questions. Do they show personal growth since the breakup? Have they changed in ways that address the issues that led to the breakup in the first place? Did you get a sincere apology? Was it genuine, or did it feel like they were just saying what they thought you wanted to hear? Can you change the aspects of yourself that contributed to the breakup? Are you willing to work on those things, or do you still feel the same way you did before? Do you even want to change those things? If the answer is no, then maybe it's time to accept that this relationship isn't meant to be. If the answers to any of these questions are uncertain, just move on. Maybe work on yourself, focus on your own growth, and don't fall into the trap of on and off relationships. Everyone deserves better than that, including you. And trust me, you will find happiness with someone else. Even if it seems unbelievable now, even if you feel like you'll never love again, even if you feel like you'll carry this pain forever, you will. Because life has a way of surprising you, of showing you new paths, of introducing you to people who will make your heart sing in ways you never thought possible. Until then, be gentle with yourself. Be patient. Be brave. And remember, you are worth more than regrets. You are worth more than coming back. You are worth finding someone who loves you fully, unconditionally, and without hesitation.